Okay. It looks like we're all live. Chat's going up. Let me... You know what? I'm not going to fuss with that. I'm just going to take my chance. Our stream videos were being weird all last week and the week before. It would, like, record the first, 7 minutes or so, and then it would stop.
I saw that.
And then go again.
I was so scared. I was like, I'm not going to be able to watch her game, Sarah's game, because I thought it would just, you didn't know, and it was just the first 7 minutes. I was so scared.
No, I mean, luckily it was grabbing it, but there was, a very weird disconnect for some reason. It did it with my Kids on Brooms game, too. Luckily, it doesn't seem like we actually missed anything super important. There's, maybe a minute overlap or so in both intros that we missed, but that's it. So... lucky. All right, let me...
Yes, absolutely.
I was real worried when I saw the little videos first when I went to download them for Tat to put on YouTube. But luckily, the longer videos were right next to it. So, woo. Thank you, 30. Beautiful. Okay, just letting the Viking know to check for moderator status, and then we will get started.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Like I already asked, I'm sure we're feeling a lot of the things, but I'm sure excited, a little sad that it's going to be our last game, all of that. How's everybody vibe check before we get started? How we doing?
Good.
Let's go! I'm attempting to punch a god.
I mean, I'm so excited I cosplayed, so I'm feeling pretty good.
It looks very, very good. I love it.
Nice.
Barb, do we have a little bit going on? It looks like you've got kind of a very pretty top on, or is that just normal wear?
This is, my fancy dress for my character. Sadly, I don't have a rainbow
Beautiful.
One, this is pretty close. It has more than one color on it. That's what I was going for.
Oh, love it.
My character's
unfortunately,
in a black suit,
I don't have
so I'm just wearing... I don't have a suit jacket, but I do got the shirt, so I'm doing that.
Yeah, I don't have a bi-flag colored suit, so...
No worries. Okay. Which, speaking of, I will, in the chat, I'll give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek that's going to be shown later after we do our recap and things like that. But I did take a stab at drawing Regina for us. So I'll drop that in the chat real quick.
Ooh.
Oh.
I had fun with her posing. It was kind of fun to give her kind of a sassy.
The witchy fingers I love.
Yeah, that was super fun. I tried to kind of pull a little bit of Miri, kind of wider thighs, a little bit bigger, holding herself, that power that I imagine when Miri speaks and does. But then the fashion and kind of the mid hair color, I tried. Yeah. I'm happy with it, but
I'm happy with it too. I mean, and we're also sort of opposites, so.
Sure.
It's a very punchable face.
And I know I just sent the answer, but yes, 30, you guys will get to see the picture. I was just giving sneak peek to the players. It'll go up on the stream background once we get past the initial intro. Background that we have right now is a really fun picture I found of the Color Festival in India, and a big crowd and sort of a little bit of chaos with all of that. I think very indicative of how we ended last time. But I won't get too far into that because we are actually going to have a little bit of, maybe not even necessarily a recap, but just a little insight from Dare. And then we're also going to get a little bit of a flashback and some fill-ins to things that we've been figuring out along the way. So without further ado, Pomoduk, take it away.
Yeah, so I didn't really get an opportunity to have a whole scene or somebody to jump things off of, bounce things off of. So I was thinking, how can I make this interesting? So I kind of wrote something. So maybe it's a poem. I don't know. But imagine, if you will, the chaotic crowd, colors flying everywhere, and you just see feet, Dare's shoes, striding purposefully. Footsteps, purposeful and quick, hidden by the chaos of the crowd, and in a strike. Dare's first memory is waking up in the hospital, knowing no one and nothing about herself. What she doesn't remember is a laboratory. Years of her life inventing the very blood of the city, the unseen. Her patron puts a congratulatory hand on her shoulder. Finally, she's done it. You should go celebrate, says the woman. Footsteps, purposeful and quick, hidden by the chaos of the crowd, and in a strike.
Very nice. And to sort of bounce off of that, I am going to invite everybody to talk not about the Neon City. We've talked a lot about the Neon City. We've talked a lot about the world that you guys live in and the one that you're trying to protect. Instead, I'm going to invite you to listen and hear about another world, one that one of your own has been to and called home at one point, and something that you guys could maybe only dare to imagine. It's a beautiful, verdant, and magical place. A very different world than the one that you currently reside in. In this world, it is not buildings on top of each other, bright neon lights, mechanics, innovation, electronics, but instead a magical forest of sorts. A place where the people are more attuned to the earth and each other. Buildings are far more spread out. The connections are maybe not deeper, but different. And it's a place where the hearth, the home, and those connections mean more than they do here, where flash and light and neon are more important. Long ago, this is the world that both Miri and who you know as Regina, but who once went as Regime, lived. And together they lived there with their family. I won't take too many liberties on that, but it was a big family, a big bit of a Parthenon. And for the most part, everyone got along. For the most part. You see, Regime did not have the same power there that she did here. This world was different. Again, the innovations, those mechanics, the very thing that Regime herself stood for were not as prevalent and not as powerful. In a bit of an ironic twist, in following along the coattails of her sister wanting to explore and see different worlds, their roles very quickly became reversed. Here, the hearth, the home, all those things that Miri stands for and stood for are diminished, muted. But everything that Regime stands for is amplified. So the years go by, and Regime gains more and more power. Now, as Regina, a businesswoman, a badass boss lady who is taking the city by storm. And yet, she still wants more. She happens upon a scientist who can not only create, but alter and control, it seems, these unseen nanites that Regime has always had a bit of a connection with since she came across to this world. And so she begins to capitalize on that. She is a benefactor of sorts to this scientist and helps it along to the point that she no longer needs this young woman. And then she takes her out. Or so she thinks. A couple more years go by. The daughter that Regina had in hopes of using in this power play and pushing the power even further is all too smart. to catch on to the scheme going on behind the scenes. In some ways, Regina is proud that her offspring caught on and left beforehand, but it's just another loose end to have to tie. She had no idea that her daughter would then find the scientist whose name she has long forgotten and was never important enough really for her to know, because she thought that she was dead in a ditch somewhere. She had no idea that her daughter and that same scientist, now a totally new person, would then go on to find her sister. The person that she followed along behind so many years ago. And then it all comes to a head at a party, a moment when Regina is supposed to be at her most powerful. This is supposed to be the final piece on her chessboard, the final take of this city. And instead of the dark blackout that she wants, there's color everywhere. And all of these faces that she never thought she would ever see again. And that is where we're going to return to our group. Now, last time, Abigail, your mother came up behind you and had dug her nails into your shoulder and had said, so you returned. And it was about at this time that Miri, the crowd parted just enough that you could see Abigail and her mother, but you recognized her mother, and pieces began to click into place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to open the floor a little bit. There are a couple things that need to be said before you guys take over, which first and foremost, we are going to enact another bit of mechanic from Thirsty Swords, which is the countdown, which is when there's important things happening. There's a countdown to either that important thing or something bad happening because of the important thing. In this instance, you guys are going to have a 6 counter. I'm sorry if you cannot see, but that is a 6. And it's going to start at 6, and it's going to go down based upon the decisions, your roles, and a lot of different factors. So keep that in mind as you guys make those decisions. And just a couple other things to kind of keep in mind as you make these decisions. Dare, I know you said that you were starting to make your way over to where Abigail and Regina are. As this happened, not only is the chaos of the crowd happening because of the initial flash mob, paint strike, all of those things, but upon seeing Regina and her daughter, who for all intents and purposes has been excommunicated from the Neon City and the upper crust of them for the last however long, the paparazzi has swarmed and created a bit of a barrier around you guys and are pictures snapping, calling out questions, etc., etc. Now, Dare, you're making your way through this, so there are going to be a couple rolls we'll have to make to try and maneuver around it because of those obstacles. And as for everyone else, just kind of keep in mind where you're currently placed. There's a couple other things that are going to be happening throughout that as well. But for now, I'm going to stop talking for a moment. I have laid the scene. I have given information. And now it is your turn. My dear players, what are we doing?
Well, I think that Abigail is definitely reacting to her mother being here. Mm-hmm. I think I would see Dare kind of trying to make her way through the crowd and try to give her a look, like, get on the other side of her, back me up here, but don't attack yet. I want to see if I can try and talk my way through this.
I want to be perfectly clear. Dare doesn't know who this woman is. Mm-hmm. She just knows that she is touching her friend. Mm-hmm. And also Dare is autistic and doesn't know how to read faces.
No worries, you're fine. I did try and leave that
She
alone.
doesn't care. She's going there to punch that lady.
Understood. Now, I know I dropped the picture in the chat for us. I know that I'm putting it up kind of on the stream, but Abigail, I want you to describe your mom to me. Not necessarily features or anything like that, but I want you to how maybe Abigail would see her mother, especially as it being sort of such a shock. I'd love to hear that description and how she's feeling kind of in this moment.
Yeah, I think Abigail is pretty pretty panicked right now. She was hoping that we would kind of get the upper hand here and be able to kind of have a surprise attack on her mother, but this woman is powerful. She is strong. She is in charge. She has always told Abigail, what she needs to do, where she needs to be, and they haven't talked since Abigail was kind of exiled. So she's not quite sure what is going on now or what this is going to be like, but she wants to try and figure it out. I would like to use a playbook move of Wicked Past. When you hear about a villain for the first time, you may decide that you know them from your past. I do know my mother. I am deciding that right now.
Yes.
I would hope so.
What a twist.
If so, give them a string on you to ask a question from the Figure Out a Person list and take +1 forward against them. So my mother definitely has a string on me. And I am looking for the Figure It Out question. Here we go. We had our page 1s and our page 2s not together, but in 2 separate stacks.
No worries.
So, when you try to understand a person, roll wit. You get a +3 if you spend a string on them. But you can ask 2 questions now or later in the scene. And if you, depending on how you roll, they may also get to ask one of you. So,
I think you just get it. It says you give them a string and you get to ask them one of these questions.
I think you're right. I just get to ask 1 question. So, excellent. I am going to ask Regina, what do you hope to get from this blackout?
Ooh, a good question. And I feel in that moment that Regina is going to kind of settle back into herself. She doesn't let go of your shoulder just yet. Those nails are still kind of digging in just a little. You know this as one of your mom's very set power plays. She's letting you know that like she's the one in control at the moment as far as she's aware. And she's going to kind of sigh and then give a look that you've seen a couple times, whereas she's a little disappointed. She's going to say, I would have hoped that you had caught on by now, my dear. You know, I did pour so much time and effort into trying to teach you much, much more than should have gone into a pawn of my entire plan. But you did catch on to the other plan quite quickly, so I had hoped. What I hope to get from this evening is more control. I always want more power and more control.
Okay. I don't want to necessarily take too much of the spotlight here, but if we are okay with me doing another one of my playbook moves, I would like to keep going.
I'm perfectly
Take it. This is your moment.
All right.
I think I'm right after you, though.
Yes.
Right after this one.
We will get to those because, like I said, there's a couple obstacles that you have to try and maneuver around. We will get to that, I promise.
So, I would like to use another one of my playbook moves. I want to explore as many of these as possible. And this one is always suspect. When you pretend to be a villain to win a villain's trust, they trust you enough to offer you an opportunity and you gain a string on them. And then you have to choose kind of a consequence of that as well. So, I would like to say back to her, like she said that she wants more control. I would like to say back to her, right, well, I will say that I thought this chaos, this color was what I wanted, but I wouldn't mind a little more control myself. Where do we start?
Oh.
So I gain a string on her
Okay.
because of my playbook move. But I have to choose from one of the following options. Someone watching comes to the worst possible conclusion. The villain requires an act of villainy to prove your intentions first, or the villain is only pretending to trust you and the opportunity is a trap. All of these are very juicy. But I feel like that first one, someone watching comes to the worst possible conclusion, may be the most interesting with Dare barging in here, hearing me say that I'm going to take the villain's side and not realizing that I'm trying to manipulate her.
I like it.
Duke, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, it's still not changing my action, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Before we hop over to that, there is another very important portion that we do need to talk about first, which is hopping over to Miri for just a moment. Because, Miri, this is a pretty big reveal. You not only now know that one of your siblings is here, but has also kind of become the big bad.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of like it's like a movie freeze frame moment for Miri. Like she turns and she sees shouts across the room. Abigail, like in that moment, just seeing, someone who she knows has usually nefarious things that she's thinking. And and then maybe, I don't know if you would hear across the room, as Miri calls Abigail's name, and then it's just like a frozen moment of connecting the dots, seeing the hand touch her and seeing their faces next to each other and the family resemblance, and that question in my mind that's been there since we met. Like, why do I feel so sometimes like uncomfortable? Like, what am I sensing there? It's like a click. And Miri's like, oh, that's her daughter. Like, that's my niece. Excuse me, getting this cold. And yeah, I think it's like just like a movie freeze frame moment. I think there would definitely be a minute before, not a minute, but like it seems like a minute before Miri can even fully react. And if Miri could hear what you're saying, there would also be, I mean, she might be affected by what you were saying for Dare too, of like wondering like, oh, is this the plan the whole time? Like.
Sure.
So I don't think Miri knows how to react because she would have been waiting to see how Abigail reacts, and then Abigail reacting like in a friendly way is giving her pause.
Okay.
Not to give too much to the GM, but maybe Miri would be staggered by something like that.
No, I definitely do feel like that would definitely be a thing here because, I mean, your whole world kind of just got flipped on its head, quite close to literally.
Yeah.
So, for our dear listeners and other people who might not have this book, when you suffer a staggering physical or emotional blow, choose an option from the following based on the number of conditions that would be marked for it. So, I'm going to say this is probably only going to be one condition for you because it just happened. It might evolve a little bit if you don't get over it, but we're going to start with one. So that's me taking a little bit of liberty there. But from that list, it means that you either lash out at someone whose regard matters to you, provoke them into doing something foolish or harmful, and then take advantage of a string on them if you have one. You might hesitate or stumble, and the opponent may gain an opportunity, or you grin and bear it, but then you gain another condition.
Okay. Oof. I mean, I think I pretty much clearly described myself as hesitating. So I feel like I like that's just what I said I was doing. I was hesitating, waiting, not acting when the opportunity presented itself because I was sort of frozen. So I feel like that just makes the most sense.
For sure. Do you feel like Miri would be more frightened or insecure at this
Yeah.
moment?
I think maybe frightened. I was going more between frightened or hopeless or even maybe guilty, but yeah, I think frightened.
Okay. So that's your current status, which just means that you're going to take a -2 to fight until someone either offers you emotional support or we get out of this. So,
Alrighty.
yay. Okay. Now, with that being said, I am going to turn our counter down to 5 so everyone's aware. Now, jumping over to Dare. All right, Dare. So you were all the way across the room when this happened. You had been over by the secret hallway, keeping an eye on things, all those fun things. And then when this happened, you started towards it. So the first obstacle that Dare needs to try and get around is the the very crowd that you created, this flash mob that has meshed into corporate chaos. I'm going to treat this similarly to a defy disaster move, which, again, as a reminder to everybody, is when you push your limits to achieve something extraordinary that's not covered by another move or avert to an imminent danger for yourself or someone else, you have to be willing to sacrifice and pick the approach that you take, which is either with might, endurance, and courage, swiftness or elegance, charm or social insight, cleverness or knowledge, or willpower and metaphysical skill. And whichever one of those you pick is the additive you're going to add to your 2d6.
What is using my scarf to kind of Spider-Man my way up, my way over there?
I would assume that's might, endurance, and courage. So that would be add your daring.
Well, when I use usually when I fight with my scarf, I'm able to use my spirit. So can I use spirit instead?
Normally, I would agree with you, but because of the way you described it, that to me reads more as daring than spirit, because you're not inciting like the unseen at this point. You're not calling upon like that magic. You're physically, like you said, you're Spider-Manning around. So that just falls a little different.
Okay. Yeah, my scarf, one end of it goes to the ceiling, and I'm, like Spider-Man or Tarzan or whatever. I'm going above everybody, swinging on my scarf.
Okay. So roll me some
Now
sixes.
my daring is +0.
Okay.
I got a 6 and a 2. What does that give me?
Okay. So that makes it a 9. Or pardon me, that's an 8, not a 9. I can math, guys. I promise I can. Not very well, but so that falls in that the GM will offer you a hard choice or a success with a sacrifice. So I'll do the same thing I did with my other finale. I'll give you the choice. Would you like to have a hard choice, or would you like to succeed but with a bad thing happening as well?
I'm willing to succeed and have the counter go down.
Well, I'm sorry to say the counter's about to go down again anyway, and that's not the bad thing that would happen. But
Oh, okay. How about go down twice?
well,
My God.
I get to decide the sacrifice, not you.
Aw.
Well, the downside.
I was trying to barter.
I understand and I appreciate it. I love a good barter. I like when you guys argue with me. It makes it more fun.
No,
So
you don't.
the counter absolutely is going to go down one more on this because you have sort of incited into one of these obstacles, one of these chaotic things that are happening. I'm going to say the downside to this is that you don't quite lift yourself high up enough with your scarf. So instead of going completely kind of over the flash mob, like I'm sure you were hoping to, you kind of get tangled a little bit into some of the dancers at the far end. So it's just going to be a little bit harder for you to disentangle from that to get to the next obstacle. So not too bad, but just a little bit of a downside to that success.
All right, I lose some steam.
Yes, just a little bit.
Gotcha.
Okay. Hopping over to our other two. Now, Seer, you've been kind of dragging our pizza through this crowd, through these obstacles that we were just talking about, trying to get over to that secret hallway. You also just sort of witnessed a lot of the stuff that just happened. I'm going to take a little liberty here. I'm going to say, as you're kind of trying to make your way back to the edge of the crowd to get over there, you catch sight of Miri, and you can tell that your dear friend, who you just came to this very emotional realization with just earlier today, is deer in the headlights right now, just absolutely quaking in her catering outfit. And you kind of need to decide what to do with that.
Ooh, well, I know exactly what I'm going to do with that. I think Tyr is going to sees Miri and then just like Tyr's smitten with her. And I think she sees Miri reacting in such a way, and she's just gonna drop Pete on the ground and just make her way right over to Miri. And so she doesn't even apologize to Pete because Seer's world right there looks like she's just rocked right now. And so Seer wants to go and help. So I think what I'll do is I'll preemptively roll for this and see how I approach it. Mm-hmm. But I would like to offer emotional support to Miri in this time.
Absolutely.
If the force of nature permits it.
Yes, the force of nature does allow it.
Beautiful. Let me get out my lesbian dice so I can roll. Let's see. So, and also, I have one string on Miri. I'm going to spend it for a +3 because I don't want to screw this up. So, I'm going to do that. Goodbye, string. And I'm going to add heart to this. Mm-hmm. Here is heartless. She has a +0 to heart. So, I'll just have my +3. Okay. That's a 5 and a 3 on the dice. +3 is 11 from my string.
Ooh, okay. So with an
on the
emotional support move, when you offer someone support in a way that could be meaningful to them, you roll, just like Muscles did for us. And if you get a 10 or better, then if they open up to you, then they can clear one of their conditions and you can choose to take a string on them.
Ooh, all right.
So tell me what you would say to Miri. What are you gonna? I understand you just dropped pizza, like very. He probably deserved that, and you kind of like scoop Miri towards you, probably grab her by the elbows, try and support her. However you decide to do that. What are you gonna say to her? What are you enthusing? What is Seer doing here?
So I think what Seer's going to do is she's going to. I'm trying to be emotionally supportive, not necessarily romantic per se. Mm-hmm. So what Seer's going to do is she's going to come up behind Miri and notice that Miri is just kind of like very deer in headlights, and she's going to interpose herself and kind of take up her view a little bit. And she says, "Marywen, are you all right? It's okay. I'm here. I'm here. You can. I'm here to help you. Are you doing all right? And trying to kind of bring that calm and bring that kind of, for lack of a better term, in this giant chaos that's going on in the background of what you pictured for us, this big color festival, things are going everywhere. Try to be that quiet, that safe harbor in this chaos right now for her. And she kind of like puts her hands on Mary's shoulders, is kind of like, like, let's steady, it's okay, I'm here kind of deal.
Okay. And
I think for Miri, like even just interrupting that sight because she's felt frozen in that moment, and confused, and that just would kind of like bring her back to the reality of this moment. And because where she came from, like that plane was like falling apart, like existence was not going to be possible in it for longer. So I think that brought her back there too, to that moment of just pure fear. I have to get out, like existence is crumbling. And so as you speak to her, gently touch her, just brings her back to like the reality, the now of, as chaotic as this is, it's not then. And she'll just be like, that's my sister. She'll just say it, like, that's my sister.
And Sarah will just kind of like look over her shoulder and then back, and she says, she's her what?
That's my sister. That's her mom. Abigail's my niece.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That is serious business.
My sister's not good people.
I wouldn't say so. You seem a bit, I can see why you're so distraught about that, if you don't mind me saying. I know this might not be the time, but do you want to talk about it?
Yes, in the middle of the chaos.
Oh, where do I even begin?
If I might, just because I did read further down and I forgot to mention when Muscle was brought up. Seer is currently smitten with Miri. And given that, you can choose another one of the options because you are smitten with them. You helped clear her condition already. You can mark an XP. You can both have +1 moving forward. Or you guys could gain an insight from the force of nature on an obstacle that might be facing you guys.
That's your choice. And so you're the recipient of my emotional support.
Okay, so I can find out something about this situation. Or what were the other two again? I'm sorry.
You already cleared your condition. You can mark an XP
Right.
to use for something moving forward. You can get a +1 to both of you moving forward for the rest of the rolls, or gain that insight.
I'm cool with the insight.
Okay. The only thing I need to know, and it does have to be an agreement from both of you, what specifically do you want insight on? And I don't just mean, Regina, the situation, the building. I mean, do you want insight on like what Regina's doing or some of the underlying factors? Like, I just need you guys to kind of agree what you want to focus on in this moment that I can give you insight on.
Okay, we both have to agree. But I mean, my first thought is, I'm kind of wondering, like, did Regina like know we were coming? I don't know. Is this like a trap, or was it happenstance that she saw her daughter? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I guess sort of what she's planning. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's some good insight that might help us out. It will help us know if we still have any modicum of surprise or not.
Yeah.
I think that's valuable.
Okay. Well, the force of nature will let you know that Regina did not know that this was coming. A little bit deeper, Regina and regime, by definition, thought that she was pretty untouchable at this point. Sort of like we talked about in the recap as the sort of like overall narration. She very much saw this as her final kind of piece on the chessboard. She thought that if this went without a hitch, if the city started to see this whole blackout movement in the way that she wanted it to, then she would have that kind of final claw in control over everything. And she was very much taken aback by not only the situation that you've created, but the people that are here. Pausing on that, Parker, how's Sunny doing up there on the stage?
Hi, I'm Parker. I play Sunny. Do you think Sunny would be like fighting some security guards who are attacking her? I think.
Okay.
Like, I'm not sure she would be aware of all this nuance that's happening with sights and like looking and all this weird stuff with all the chaos going on. So yeah, I'm fighting off security guards. Do I like roll something for that?
Absolutely. You have a choice. So you can do just a straight fight move, which would be you attempting to incapacitate or incite violence, basically. You could also attempt a defy disaster, like we just did with Dare, and you just have to pick how you wanted to do that and what you wanted to happen because of it. So you kind of have two options here.
I mean, I want to take out a security guard. Like that sounds fun. Put paint on their face with my paint sword.
Absolutely. So when you seek to incapacitate someone with violence, you roll with either daring or grace. And then you have a couple things that can happen.
12 total.
Ooh, we on fire tonight, y'all. Okay, so you get to choose 3 from the list below, and I get to choose 1 in response. So the list is as follows. You can flirt with or provoke your opponent to gain a string on them. In this instance, I'm going to say for you to take them out instead of gain a string since they're just NPC guards. Through violence or cutting words, you may inflict a condition. Same, take one of them out. Create an opportunity for an ally through your prowess or distraction, or take an object from your opponent to seize a superior position. So you get to pick 3 of those. And I'll be nice, and I'll say that there's multiple guards. So if you wanted 2 of those choices to be to take out 2 of the guards, I would allow it. But you have to describe to me how Sunny's going to do this.
Well, I'm just thinking that the situation would be extremely annoying for our, evil mother thing or evil sister thing. So I'm thinking the condition might be inflicted on them for like kind of inciting this, tackling this PZ guy, and then like doing this combat and being a central figure in this rise revolution thing. So I think I would love to inflict a condition on her and knock out, or would that be?
No, I could see this making Regina very angry. So I think that's a very fair jump and not one that I had anticipated. So I'm okay with that. You still have 2 more choices, and then I get to pick one for you in return.
I'm not sure I know exactly she's there, so I will like knock out one with the flirt or provoke if that's okay instead of taking the string.
Sure.
And then I think this gives an opportunity for someone to do something. I'm not sure if that would be Dare trying to get up in the mix or if it's
Yeah, please help me.
I
Sure.
have an idea.
You want to use your distraction to help Dare kind of gain their momentum again? Or I'm sorry, Muscles, I didn't mean to talk
Yes,
over you.
please.
Please give me your idea.
So here's an idea. Maybe Sunny, like I mentioned, Sunny like maybe hits someone with like the mic stand and then turns around and like drop kicks another dude and sends him flying to like sends another of the security guards flying into whatever crowd Dare just landed in, which gives puts one less person or maybe a couple less people panicking, trying to jump on Dare to help Dare get out of the situation that she's in.
Yeah, I think that's great. The only thing that I ask in this moment is, Parker, I want you to describe to me what Sunny is doing. Tell me, I know you kind of gave us a little bit, but like set the scene for me. What is she doing?
Yeah, I imagine like there's muscle or a seer just left the stage with PZ, so like there's that. I like before a seer leaves, I think I give a kiss on the cheek and say thank you so much, and then after they leave, I start fighting off the guards, and I take out I think like a staff like paintbrush thing that's I don't know how I was holding. Start fighting off the guards with one, like knock one in the face with kicking them. Um, One of them takes part of my outfit and just rips it off. I'm going to also use my playbook move rip. So whenever I narrowly escape something dangerous, I can declare that my clothes are damaged and I'm practically indecent. So for the remainder of the scene, if I roll +10 on any move against an NPC, I can declare they have a crush on me, depending on the force of nature. Also, any PC who becomes smitten with me during the remainder of the scene may mark an XP.
Absolutely. Now, remind me, Parker, you were in the catering outfit, like Miri, weren't you? You were the two. So, just before we turn the spotlight over, because I know Dare's gonna try and get over that last obstacle, and we're gonna hop back over to Abigail for a second as well. How does this guard rip that? Tell me the indecency. Give it to me.
I'm assuming it's like a button-up thing, so like just trying to grab onto me, just the buttons rip, and I have a, let's see, rainbow, what is it, army pattern sports bra there. And it's like, whoa, that is so risque for this black and white event. Oh no.
I love it. I love to hear it. And the entire y'all's part of the crowd, like you hear them, they're like, whoa, and the others like they're like, the cameras start going off. It's just a mess of reactions.
That might also be a distraction for the whole crowd as just everyone. So yay.
Yay.
I imagine Sunny poses like chest out.
Just whoa, ha.
I'm covering up and fighting at the same time.
I love it. Okay. I'm going to start back up at the top. And I will say that our counter is going to go down one more, you guys. For you guys keeping track, we are currently at 3.
Did you need to do
Oh, goodness. You are so right. Yes, I do. Thank you. I'm going to be a nice force of nature because I just took that countdown down for you guys. I'm going to create an opportunity for one of your allies. So, hopping back over, since we're going to be talking about Abigail anyway here. Abigail, you get to kind of see this happen in like real time because you're faced toward the stage right now. And so not only are you kind of like trying to talk to your mom and try and like kind of suave your way into this, but then behind your mother, you get to see Sunny just absolutely take out these guards and then shirt get ripped open, fly open to this camo rainbow sports bra, and then like strike a pose and keep going. And the opportunity I'm going to say is that at this point, those paparazzi that were very focused on you and your mother at that point are now distracted by what all of the world is distracted by, which is sex appeal.
Oh, very nice. I think Abigail is definitely distracted by this as well. Maybe finding herself a little smitten with Sunny here. The battle look is good.
Absolutely. Which, if you do want to do that before we do anything else, you are absolutely more than welcome to be smitten with your very badass friend here. And when you
Yeah.
become smitten with somebody, then you give them a string and you answer a question from your Truths of Heart and Blade section on your playbook.
Yeah, so I had been smitten with Sunny previously and had felt like I wasn't worthy of her because she was so innocent and so pure. And now I'm seeing this topless Sunny fighting people on the stage and feeling something reawaken in me. But I have to answer the question, why do you think they would be wrong to forgive you? I think that in this case, maybe it is that, I am trying to get information out of my mother. I'm trying to, very quickly weasel my way in here to figure out what is the ultimate plan and how can we stop it. But I'm doing that in a very underhanded way, and I know it looks bad to my friends and could go very poorly. Whereas Sunny is just being very straightforward, hitting people with a giant paintbrush, and really making it exactly clear what she is here for, what she believes in. So I think in this case, I feel like it would be wrong for her to forgive me because I am being so underhanded about this. And not supporting my friends, not showing my true colors here.
Would you see maybe in contrast to the last time that you were smitten with Sunny, and it was sort of the naivete, the innocence, those things that you know you don't hold within yourself that you sort of wanted to protect and not touch with your feelings. In this way, it's almost the opposite side of the coin. You know now that Sunny has grown and is showing what she wants, but doing it in a way that you feel maybe you never could. And it's almost like a positive envy here of like, well, I don't know that I could ever do it that way. And I envy that she can. I'm proud of her that she can. But definitely, I still should not touch that with my negativity.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Your mother looks surprised at what you said to her. Pleasantly surprised. I'm going to say that you can count on one hand the amount of times you've taken your mother by surprise in your life. And it's always an experience because she seems to know everything that is laid out before her and then some. The whole world is a game of chess thing your mom makes a true life mantra. And so she kind of moves her hand away from your shoulder and then sort of flips it and offers it to you.
I would like to take that hand and I'm trying to think of where I can go from here. I would like to continue asking her questions, and maybe this is rolling again to figure her out.
Yeah, absolutely. In this instance, if you wanted to just straight roll the figure out a person one and see if you could get a couple extra questions on this one, you absolutely could. Or if you wanted to use your playbook again and spend a string to just get the auto one, it's sort of up to you which route you want to take.
Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and roll. I think that I will spend a string on her to get a +3 to this roll.
Absolutely.
My wit is going to be added to this, so it's a +1 and a +3, total of +4. That is a total of 13.
Ooh.
So I can ask her 2 questions. Okay. I'm looking at these questions. What are your feelings towards blank? What do you hope to get from blank? How could I get you to blank? What do you love most? How would you feel if I blank? Ooh, and Muscles is pointing out to me here, I have a playbook move, Wicked Heart. When you figure out a person during physical conflict, you may additionally ask one of these questions. What are you most ashamed of? Or how could I get you to betray your ideals?
Ooh.
And you get to ask
So,
2, so you could pick one from each list. You could pick the 2 of those there if you wanted to. You have some great options here.
some great options. I don't know that they're necessarily going to be the most useful, but I feel like those 2 last ones are the most juicy. What are you the most ashamed of? And how could I get you to betray your ideals? So to play that out a little bit, I think I'm going to take her hand and say, well, I've done my fair share of things that I'm ashamed of. Coming back around, I'm sure that you've had something like that, haven't you?
And your mom's going to take the hand that you're holding and she's going to move and she's going to tuck your arm into hers, sort of escorting you now past the paparazzi. I've always imagined Abigail, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always imagined Abigail as a very tall, model-esque, like very imposing figure. Your mom is even more so. Like, whereas you're probably like close to 6 foot, she's like over. Like, she's like the avant-garde model, and you're like the runway model. So very different kinds of beauty, very different kinds of intimidation. And so you sort of feel dwarfed in her presence. And I feel like that would have been a big thing growing up with her too, because you were just like never enough, never measured up. But so she kind of tucks your arm into hers and walks and starts to escort you. She says, I'm remiss to answer only because admitting the things that we're ashamed of is admitting weakness, my dear Abigail. I have tried my damnedest in growing up and becoming the person that I am, and by definition raising you to teach you how to be powerful and not give in to that weakness. But if I'm being honest, I would perhaps say I'm ashamed that I didn't do better as a mother. I'm ashamed that for a very long time I was only able to see you as a pawn in my plan, where maybe I should have been seeing you as an ally.
Okay. For my second question, how could I get you to betray your ideals? I don't know that I would necessarily ask that super directly, but I do want to kind of follow this train of, and knowing that she has some regrets on how she treated me, to see if I can pry into that a little bit and see if I can figure out what it would take to get her to change.
Sure. If the benevolent force of nature may, perhaps leading into sort of a, well, you know, Mother, something I remember growing up is you teaching me these lessons, but I wonder, is there anything that could have ever made you go against that? You know, I look back at my child and I don't know that you could have changed because it makes you the person you are. Maybe leaning into that as sort of like a what could ever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And I think that Regina would take this very much as like a, she's finally maybe seeing the potential in you as her daughter and as an extension of herself. And so she kind of laughs like it's the most laughable thing in the world that she could ever go against her need for power, her greed, her overcoming that sort of thing. Like, oh, I would never. That's what makes me powerful. She goes, oh, I don't know. I suppose if I ever truly had to choose between you and myself, I do suppose I would choose you, Abigail. You stand for so much that I've tried to do in my lifetime.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Hopping a little bit. Dare you, Spider-Man, you fell. You had a security guard knock into the people that were in your way. And now you have a line of paparazzi that you need to get around. So this would either end up being a defy disaster or a fight, depending on kind of how you want to approach this.
What do you think will allow me to use spirit or wit?
I think it would
Those are
come
my two
down...
best stats.
Yeah. I think in that case, I would say defy disaster because you get to choose which of them. You just have to figure out how to describe it. So
Yeah.
if you're wanting to defy disaster and use either your spirit or your wit, then you would either be using cleverness or knowledge or willpower and metaphysical skills. So thinking about those traits, how do you think maybe Dare would use those ideas to get through the paparazzi? Something that her as a character, which do you think she might do?
Maybe willpower. Maybe just having just an intimidating stride of, oh, better move out of the way. This lady looks pissed.
As someone who has definitely winter soldiered across a con floor more than once in her life, it does work. What do you think would be pushing Dare for that right now? Like, what maybe single-mindedness? I know we've talked about like getting to Abigail, but like dig into that a little bit for me. Why do you think maybe it's so important for Dare to get to Abigail and is creating this sort of like one-minded tenacity?
Because she has something to say to Abigail now.
Okay. Okay.
I do not want to reveal what she has to say because I plan to say it.
That's fine. Describe to me instead how you think Dare pushes through these paparazzi. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but like, again, set the scene for me.
Dare has always been a quiet person. Has never been one to give speeches. So she Winter Soldier marches towards the paparazzi and just barks, "Move!"
Okay.
And she doesn't pause her walking. She's still marching as she says, "Move."
Absolutely. And these paparazzi, while they definitely want the right picture, they've seen that look enough times to know they're going to get curb stomped. So they part like the Red Sea. And you have a clear shot now. We'll come back around at the top of the round to that. I'm going to hop back over to Miri and Seer for just a second. Now, you guys have managed to calm yourself down. You are a little bit more in the moment now, Miri. And Seer, you've just kind of had this bombshell dropped on you. What are we going to do, guys? You guys now see over sort of the line of people. There's been an exchange between Regina and Abigail. Regina has now taken Abigail's hand and is sort of like leading her. There's a couple different ways you guys could interpret this too, because Abigail doesn't look maybe like under duress, but I would say that you guys know Abigail enough by this point to know that she would have some sort of a tell here. She's worried something's going on. So there's a couple ways you guys could kind of read this situation. What are we feeling?
Are they coming towards us, or
I'm going to say kind
because
of
we're by the
parallel
building?
to you guys. You guys have sort of this line of the flash mob people in between the two of you and like where they're walking. But you can definitely see them clearly.
Okay. Well, I guess. Okay, so I feel like, am I crazy? Has Miri's never been? I've never said Miri's smitten with Seer.
No.
That's crazy. I'm smitten. Like consider her smitten.
Absolutely.
From that, dropping pizza or whatever we're calling him, and just coming over and in the middle of all that, taking a moment to be so gentle with Miri.
Mm-hmm.
call it the straw that broke the camel's back, but I don't know why I've never said that before.
No, it's okay.
So
Does Miri have a
Yes.
question in the Truth is Heart
Yes.
and Blade?
Mhm.
Ooh,
I do.
nice.
So you get a string,
Mhm.
and what unwise thing do I think I could do to impress them?
Ooh.
This is such a dramatic moment to have that question be asked of me.
I'm just imagining Miri pulling out like a fresh pan of buns out of nowhere. Sorry, I know that's not the route we're going, but this is what lives in my brain, y'all.
Nope, it's the buns. It's the buns for me. Hold on. I just want to check if I have anything really quick. I can get gills if that's helpful. Okay. So what unwise thing do I think I could do to impress them? I think that I feel like an unwise thing to do at this point would be to just burst into the situation. Maybe that would be Miri's reaction of like, okay, she's really sweet. I'm gonna impress her.
I love it. I love it.
Like out of my fear, just like going too far the opposite way.
Okay.
Maybe you can join the flash mob and do a dance.
Yeah.
You do have to get through the flash mob, so that's perfectly fine. We can absolutely do that. I'm going to say I do need you to describe how she's going to get through the flash mob, and then it's
I would say, can I borrow your skateboard?
I think, yeah, Sierra would just say, like, I actually did stash it under this trash can right here, and she kind of tips over, like, lifts up the cover on the trash can, and there's her, like, neon pink skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, do you know how to ride this thing?
Yes.
You know, like a liar.
Maybe she's going to play it like a liar.
It says unwise thing.
Okay.
I was thinking also, like, really quick, since I can like instantly bake bread, I can make a medical bread and give it to you, Seer. So I'll just like whip out my cast iron that I was hiding, who knows where.
Yeah.
I just throw some of my bread in it and cook it, and it's the one that clears a condition as well.
Ooh, that's really good because I'm feeling very insecure right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Sierra will take that bread and immediately take a bite.
It says it tastes bitter.
Oof.
It's medical.
That's okay. It tastes delicious. And Sierra, she takes a bite and she says, the unwise thing she's not going to do is talk with her mouth full. But she says, wow, this is amazing. All right, take my board. You can go. I'll try to follow right behind you because I feel like you're very important to me, and I want to make sure that you may get through this. And I'm going to do a thing. I owe Mary a thing because she maxed out trust with my playbook. And so Seer, real quick, kind of like taps her ear to mute the mic on her comms and reaches over and taps to mute yours. And she says, I've never told anybody this since I moved here. But my parents back home, they told me, they kind of always respected the old ways. They said, never give your name away unless you trust someone, unless you care about them. So Seer's what I call myself, but my actual name you can call me by, and that's Saoirse. And
That's a beautiful name.
well, that's very kind of you. I haven't heard anyone else say it in years, but it feels nice for someone to say it's beautiful.
Well, my real name's Mirwin, God of Hearth and Home. And then I skateboard away.
Yeah. And
My jaw is dropped
Wait,
right
what? God
now.
exists?
Sears like, am I dating a goddess? What?
I'll
I mean,
explain later.
obviously, but okay.
I think, and you hear in your earbud come as you head off before you make your action roll. Seer unmutes and she just says, Marywen is so amazing. Over. And then just your bread chewing noises.
Okay. Miri, describe to me how you blitz through this flash mob and what are we doing?
I am gonna try to just get on this, go run up to the major group, get a running start, and then try to skateboard and get really low and just try to go in between people.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is, even though this isn't technically a move, we're going to roll our 2d6. And I'll give you a choice. I am, once again, benevolent. You can either do it with daring or with grace, because I feel like both of those kind of have a hand here. And this is just going to anticipate how well you do.
Seems daring. Okay. That's a 7 plus 2 is a 9.
Perfect. Okay. So you succeed. There's a little bit of fumbling. You definitely kind of elbow into a couple of the people that are on your side and wobble a few times when you're trying to kick off, but you managed to do it. You managed to weave in and out of this crowd. You catch some paint streaks as you're going. I'm imagining now you just kind of have war paint going. And you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Right about the time the wheels hit the edge of the dance floor and you face plant in front of your sister and your niece.
Oh, yeah.
And our counter is going to go down
I feel
one more.
maybe the flash mobs in between me and Seer is all that Mary's thinking.
So
I got this far.
Can I have my cool moment?
we've got to go to Sunny and then we'll be back at the top, I promise. So,
Okay.
Sunny, you're fighting people with your paintbrush. You've knocked a guard off the stage. You looked up in time to see Miri go flying through the flash mob and then kind of fall on her face. We're not going to talk about that part.
Yeah, I see that as a seer is saying, Miri's so amazing. And I see that happen. It's like, what are you talking about? We're in the middle of things. Okay, what's
Dare
happening?
sees it and she has a photographic memory, so she'll never unsee it.
Okay. What does Sunny want to do in this moment? You have, for all intents and purposes, managed to take out the couple of security guards that jumped up on the stage and tried to take you out. The other ones are kind of like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Has anybody been on comms or has it been just subtle looks still?
There's been a little bit. There's been a little bit back and forth. So not much, but they are still open.
How much of Abigail's conversation have you overheard on the comms? Or did she mute?
That is entirely up to Abigail and how she wants to play that, because this is her suave sort of subterfuge.
I think because the consequence that I chose was people take this the wrong way, that maybe I thought I was muted and accidentally unmuted myself instead of muting or something like that. And I like the idea of Sunny hearing at least part of this.
Yeah.
So plan is to head to the back room. So I got to make that one check to clear the crap. Yeah, do the crowd work stuff.
I will also offer Sunny a bit of a choice here. Because, especially with what Abigail just said, Sunny would have heard Abigail having this conversation with her mom. She would have heard her mother say, if I ever had to choose, I suppose, between you and myself, I would end up picking you. And you, for all intents and purposes, at this point, probably think your friend is betraying you. So you do have a bit of a choice here. You can absolutely try and head over to the secret room if you'd like. But I'm going to say that you would need to do basically one quick move to kind of hop over the crowd at the angle that they're at currently, because they've been making their way through. If you wanted to kind of get near them just like Dare and Miri currently are.
You have also heard Dare angrily bark, move.
Would it be prudent of me to go grab my motorcycle to get through the crowd and like cause more chaos in whatever office these 5 secret weirdo corporate people are?
You know what? The sky above you opens up and one of these panels got hit by the pyrotechnics and it falls on the stage in just the perfect ramp angle. And, you know, I feel like you would have stashed it back towards the stage area where you guys came in, and it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good.
Could we have a giant cake where somebody could pop out of it, but instead of a person, it's just this motorcycle has been inside of a giant cake?
It's a pretty big cake, but we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
We have someone on security
I had a week to
that
bake.
can look the other way.
Miri had a week to bake. She said it. It's canon.
It's a black and white cake. The inside is vanilla and chocolate.
It explodes out to rainbow. It's got like sprinkles on the inside where the motorcycle was.
Funfetti on the inside.
Yeah. Go for it, Parker. I'm gonna say you have like a recall on your motorcycle, so it'll come bursting forth, but explain to me how you want to do this. Paint the scene for me. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at like I think I set it up so the wheels like splatter paint everywhere wherever we like go. So I would love to do donuts all over this room before, just to kind of like clear out the crowd a little bit and paparazzi get their cameras covered in paint. That would help clear out the room. I think I would be late to the action in the boardroom area, but yeah, that sounds like fun.
Absolutely. I love that. So you jump down off the stage, start doing paint donuts. I'm going to say that's going to take us down to our final one on this dice because you guys have managed to clear the room.
Is it good?
We'll see, won't we? So the room clears.
0.
It is just you guys, Regina, and Abigail now. Abigail, we're back at the top. You've been kind of having this conversation with your mother. A lot of things have been kind of happening in the your like peripherals. You're kind of trying to ignore it at this point because you're on a mission. But a couple things happen all at once. You take that final step to the edge of where the paparazzi is. And then you hear the roar of a motor and manage to glance over in time to see Sunny just start absolutely paint donuting. People are running in every which direction. The room quickly clears out. Miri face plants in front of you. And Dare shoves past the last couple of people that are running out behind her. And she is now facing you full front. You see where Seer is following behind Miri. And you're standing there with your mother. So before we jump to Dare and have her say that thing that she's going to say to you, what's going through your mind? What do you want to do? What is the play here for Abigail?
Right. I think first thing that goes through Abigail's mind is, damn, Sunny's so cool. Second thing, just realizing we've got everybody here. Security guards have been taken out. It's just basically, me, my mother, all of these people, and I feel like I need to make a choice here to either try and convince my mother to join us or reveal that, like, we gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not quite sure which one I want to do. Would it be okay if I let Dare go first?
Absolutely.
Please do.
I'm perfectly content to let Dare go, and we can kind of take one more round of combat, so to speak, and then sort of let you make your choice based off of that.
Okay. Dare.
She hasn't stopped moving this entire time, and she's gonna try to strike Regina.
Okay. The only thing I'm going to say, and I'm not a big no GM, but Regina is twice the size of Dare and a goddess for all intents and purposes. So please take those things into consideration when you make this
In all
move.
intents and purposes, I think I can get one in, simply because Regina is a tall lady who's also a goddess who has been a boss basically her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
She will not expect a punch. So I think I can land a punch.
Well,
Also, we don't know that she's a goddess.
True.
Yeah. Even if Dare did know that she was a goddess, she would try to punch her. Because who would expect it?
and there's two things I will counter to that. One being that you've come full frontal to where they are. So she does see you coming. And two, she might be a boss lady currently, but her being a goddess does not get taken away just because she's been a boss lady for a while. If anything, it's actually more dangerous, like I explained in the beginning, because of this realm particularly, because her power here is at its highest. And she's been cultivating that power for years and years and years. I'm never going to tell you not to do something, ever. I'm not that GM. I just want you to know the possible consequences from taking those actions. That's all.
Okay. Well, Dare, I have decided, ever since she heard Abigail talking to her mother, she has the condition angry.
That's fair. Very fair.
And what she's going to do is she's going to say to Abigail, "You're better than this," and attack Regina.
Okay. Okay. So a couple things are going to happen. Our counter is done. We have reached the penultimate. We are here. Dare, how are you coming at Regina? Are you just like reeling your fist back and like going just like fist fight? What is Dare doing specifically?
Well, Dare's under the impression that gods don't exist.
No, that's fine. And that is correct. Because again, no one except for Mary at this point would actually know what Regina is. I was giving that to you out of game is nice.
So she wouldn't like necessarily like try to cut her with her cool sci-fi weapon or anything. So yeah, it would be a fist fight.
Okay. So as you come running up to Regina and you reel this back and you yell at Abigail, a couple things are going to happen at pretty quick succession of one another. Regina's going to catch your fist in her hand. She's going to grip Dare's hand in a almost cracking grip. It's going to be a strength that Dare was not prepared for. And it's definitely going to, even in her angry state, it's going to take her back a little bit. It's just not something she was like prepared for. And then Regina is going to use her free hand. She's going to let go of Abigail. And she's going to use her free hand to run her fingernail along just the edge of your scarf, and the nanites are going to light up and react to her.
Oh no.
I was actually hoping for this because it would be cool to have a nanite battle.
So-
The battle of wheels.
That being said, Miri, your glorious faceplant.
Yes. I made it here.
And the seer
Seer's
is very
gonna run
closely
up after
behind.
you and help you up, if I'm allowed to.
Yes, absolutely. What would you guys like to
Sorry,
do?
I was coughing.
No, you're fine. You guys can aid your friends. You can jump in the battle. There's a lot of different things you guys can do right now. Now, I will say you saw everything that just happened. Dare yelled at Abigail, came flying at Regina, and then got caught. And now some of the nanites on the scarf are lighting up. Abigail is not being held by Regina anymore. I'm going to say she even kind of got tossed back a little bit in the movement. So there's probably a good 3 or 4 feet between her and her mother right now. And Sunny is doing lots of paint donuts in the background. So
Perfect. And I expect nothing less. I definitely want to try to diffuse the situation. I'm hoping that just seeing me is shock for Regime. I think I'm going to get up, dust myself off, and I think I will go up to her and put my hand over her hand that's crushing Dare's hand.
okay.
And just say to her, sister, I'm glad you made it.
Okay. And Regina is once again, for the second time this evening, and it doesn't happen very often, so that's saying something, is surprised. And she's going to kind of tilt her head and look down, and she's going to scrunch her eyebrows up a little bit and, sister, I won't lie, I thought you would have withered away long ago in a place like this.
I found my people and my places.
Tell me, how does it feel not to be the powerful one?
It was never about power. What are you calling yourself these days?
Mirrowin, it's always about power. I was once Regime, the unknown, hoping for control. And here I am Regina Radcliffe, the true powerful in this city. People fear me. They fall before me. I am home. And you feel that word thrum through you. And in this moment, you feel a modicum of that power roll from your sister into you because she just gave it to you without meaning to.
Dare's gonna try to knee Regina in the groin.
Okay. Okay. Regina's got a hold on you right now, keep in mind. Like a pretty harsh hold.
That's why she's close enough to try to knee her.
Let's do this. Generally,
What
in Thirsty
conditions are
Swords,
you
we
gonna
don't...
give Dare?
Say again?
Which conditions are you going to give Dare?
So, well, Dare is angry. And I'm going to say, from that first sort of feeling where she got grabbed onto by Regina, that's going to take her by surprise, like I said, in a way that she probably wasn't expecting. So I'm going to say that that's going to frighten her just a little bit. So she does have those to take into consideration at the moment. Normally, go ahead.
So when you feel fear, there's the fight or flight response.
Mhm.
I'm going to say her response right here is the fight response.
Yep, perfectly fine. So what we're going to do here is we're going to basically do an opposition roll. Normally in Thirsty Swords, this isn't how this goes. Normally it's mostly through like string control and narration that the GMs do things. Because this is a more directive fight scenario that we're taking, I'm going to be rolling for Regina, and you're going to be rolling essentially an opposed fight. So keep in mind your 2 statuses that you currently have. So you have your angry, which is wouldn't count here because that's for figure out person. But then with frightened, it is going to be a -2 to your fight. So just keep that in consideration before you roll.
Okay.
And we're both going to roll, and we're going to see kind of who gets the higher number here.
Okay. You first.
I very, very rarely have dice as a GM that work well for me. So it's always funny for me when they roll really well, because when I GM, it never fails. They always roll low. But both my 6s hit 6s.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, so did mine.
So
What?
12s. Keep in mind you've got a
Whoa.
-2 to yours because of the status. And
Well,
she's not.
if I get to add my spirit, which I usually do,
For fight moves,
then
keep
that's
in mind it's
+2.
well. Keep in mind that for fight moves, it's daring or grace. And even if we were
Right,
doing
because I'm the spooky. Because I'm the spooky witch, I have an ability called Witchfire that allows me to use spirit instead of daring.
perfect, that would basically negate it at that point, because you have the -2 for the fight move, so you don't get any bonus on that. So that makes it a 12. And then in this moment, I am going to say that Regina, I have her stats. I didn't think I was going to have to pull them up, but here we go. With her and a fight move, that is adding her daring and her grace, which would be which is her +1 with daring. So she's going to beat you by 1. Barely. So luckily that doesn't mean that anything bad happens, but it does mean that she's basically going to kind of like push back on your wrist again, and you're going to feel it just sort of like when someone grabs your wrist too hard and you feel like almost like the bone cracks a little bit because they've just like gripped onto you too hard. That's the feeling that you currently have. And you're not going to be able to quite get your knee up high enough to hurt her. So.
Man, this feels like I feel cheated because I got 2 6s and I was excited about it.
I was fully prepared to have to narrate this differently. I don't ever roll high on my GM dice, but
Can I use a string to get things higher?
Not in this scenario. Keep in mind, I give you guys a lot of autonomy, and I give you a lot of choices, and I'm always more than happy to be benevolent behind the scenes. But I'll give kind of everybody in the scenario a freebie. This isn't a scenario, especially with Regina, that you're going to be able to solve with brute force. It's just not going to end well if you try and go that route. I've kind of dropped
and I would
a couple
definitely say
of
that
those.
Miri would say something to Dare after that moment passes. Just like, Dare, she's beyond that. She's not what she appears to be. I think we may need to have a discussion, a calm discussion.
Not with her kind of people.
She's not really people.
Then not with her.
Okay. But could we borrow your daughter?
I think that brings up a really good point. A lot of things have happened, Abigail. First of all, how do you think that Abigail's going to be reacting to some of this? Because not only did she see her mom get to the point where she could probably hurt Dare, but Miri just jumped in and started talking, and you very clearly heard Miri say, "Hello, sister." What's going on?
Yeah, I think Abigail is, gonna pick herself back up from where she was flung and run back over and yell, "There! There, stand down! It's dangerous!"
I don't care about danger.
I know you don't
When
care
have I
about
ever?
danger, but Dare, I care about you. And I do not want to see my mother rip off your arm. I can't deal with that. Will you please stand down?
You see Dare shudder, almost give in, then stubbornness takes over. No. We came here to do something.
Look
If she
around.
takes my arm, she takes my arm. We are here to achieve a goal.
Look at all the people that we've brought together. There. I mean, look around. Look at what we've achieved.
It's not over yet. It's not over. There's
It doesn't have
people
to
in
be
some
over.
kind of strange meeting. This strange, overly strong woman is doing something with my nanites. There's more going on. There's more going on, and it's not over. It is not time to be calm.
Let me ask this. And this is an outside question. This is not like Regina's not speaking. This is just what does Dare hope to accomplish? What exactly is like her end goal here? What did she come into this hoping to happen from this entire exchange?
Well, at first, she just wanted to protect Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's trying to remind Abigail of why they are doing this in the first place. Mm-hmm. Why Abigail and Dare even met. Mm-hmm. When Dare protected Abigail from thugs for like the first time Abigail was ever in true danger and needed somebody, Dare was there. And the reason why she was in the first place is because she had to leave the corporation. Because of the corporation.
Okay.
She cannot rejoin her mother. Mm-hmm. If she rejoins her mother, she'll become the person she used to be. But she's better than the person she used to be.
Okay.
So she's trying to remind Abigail of the person she is now.
Mm-hmm.
So even though she is frightened, even though she is angry, Dare is not done.
Okay. So as all of these things are sort of happening and all of these emotions are rolling off, and you have tried to remind Abigail, and Abigail has made a stand to her mother for you. It sort of feels a little bit like a mirror pose of what you just explained, of when you saved Abigail, and now she's trying to save you. Mary's standing behind, Seer supporting, Sunny skidding through paint and creating more chaos and lighting up the world in the way that you guys wanted. And in this moment, for the third time in the evening, Regina is surprised. She's never seen someone not back down from her power. She's never seen somebody not back down when they're afraid of her. And in that surprise and in that moment, she's going to take a step back and look at all of you. She's going to tilt her head, very confused, and then probably out of some sheer innate core reaction, she's going to turn to Miri, her sister, her family, and she's going to say, I am confused. Why would you take the risk? Why would any of them take the risk? You can't win this fight. I don't understand.
It's
Oh. Lakin, were you saying something? You're muted.
Yeah.
oh,
There it is. We can hear you now. No, maybe not. I think you were muted and then you hit it and now you're muted again. Try now.
hello.
Yeah, there you are. There's your gorgeous
I must
voice.
have double clicked it or something. I was coughing, so I had muted earlier.
It's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, she'd just say it's worth it for the people, the connections. That's something you never understood. You strive to innovate, to change, but you don't see the cost of it. And if you keep going like you are now, you won't have anyone left to worship you. There won't be anyone left. You will end this world if you keep going the way you're going now. No, you're right. You're strong. No one can stop you. No one can stop you. We have to try.
And
We can keep on fighting because you only need to lose once. You only need to give up once. We can keep on doing this.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna take a big swing here. Seer's going to say, and sometimes when you fight, your reasons change. When I first started here, it's because that that pile of human refuse that you call Zero stole my very soul. It feels like, and so it was spite. But I think right now, I'm doing what I'm doing, not out of spite, not out of hatred. And she looks at Miri and she says, I think I'm doing this for love. And she gives you a face that looks like, I kind of want to kiss you right now, but also I'm respectful and want only do so with consent because you're a goddess. I don't want to get my face a blue.
I have a little whatever their version of a cassette tape is or whatever on my side, and I will say, I recorded this for you, and press play, and then like lean in for a kiss. And it's a song it's a song from my old world that they don't have here, but I wanted Seer to hear it, so I recorded myself singing it. I'm not going to sing.
No, you're fine.
Dare goes, are you fucking kidding me? Right now?
And I feel like
Seer's like, not. Just hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she reaches in and kisses Miri.
Oh.
I feel like
Dare and Regina both rolled their eyes at the same time.
I was about to say, I definitely feel like this is the point that like Regina was surprised, she let go of Dare, and now they're both just staring at this like, this is where this seriously? Like there's just that little itty bitty bit of camaraderie of just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so funny. There's bonding with the villain. That's so funny. After all that. Yeah.
And you know, Regina is very confused. She is sitting with herself for a moment. She's watching this in her head, this mushy gushy, totally annoying, out of right field moment. But then she's watching like Abigail give a fond look. She's looking at like Dare roll her eyes, but then also kind of like take a step back in herself because it's her friends. You know, Sunny finally skid to a stop through some paint and like lift her visor and be like, yeah, in the background. Like seeing all of these moments, and it just confuses her even further. It lights something inside of her. Something that Miri recognizes even in her very emotional moment that she's having. And it is the reminder that home can be found anywhere. And sometimes that creates a power that Regina wasn't ready for. And she doesn't quite know what to do with that. And in that moment, I feel like she's going to turn to Abigail. And for once, the very first time in Abigail's life, it seems like your mother is quietly asking you for advice.
Abigail is going to say to her mother, this is what it could be all about. It's what I want. It's what we want. You can still have progress and still have people. I hope you can realize that and perhaps start to see things differently.
I love tech and I love people. Technology is awesome.
And
Dare says, still being autistic.
Yes, 100%. Regina's going to kind of chuckle at that, like a genuine kind of like she was taken aback by that. And she's going to kind of, she's going to look around the room once again and kind of all these things that are happening all at once. And she's just going to kind of lean back into herself. And I don't know that I've ever admitted to being wrong before. But I think I might have been wrong about a couple of things. And this time when she holds her hand out to Abigail, it's not because she holds all the power. It's because she's genuinely holding her hand out and asking if Abigail will help her.
I reach out and I take my mother's hand and I say, Sonny, do you have any paint left? I think there's one last spot that you didn't get, and I gesture at Regina's dress.
Oh, I can do that. And then as a power move, I would like to use the unseen to make her dress colorful.
Absolutely. I won't make a roll for that. And as this all kind of happens at once, I think we might just possibly have an end of finale guest star that shows up.
What?
Hello, it's me, Pistache. No.
I have no idea who that could be.
What? Who?
Ooh.
Could it be David Pumpkins?
Smash cut
Yes, it is
to the bar.
Rowan, welcome to the end of our game. So many things have happened, but they have managed to slay the big bad with love and a lot of confusion and apparently nanite paint. And so Papa Franklin has kind of appeared in the midst of a very chaotic once corporate event. Gearshaft sort of leading you through. Your gang did good.
Of course they did. They're my gang. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pick bad people.
And for the first time, describe for me, because we haven't gotten to see our patron in a while, describe Papa Franklin for me.
Sure. So Papa Franklin is a capital B butch with a shaved undercuts, with a bun up on top of their head. His arms are like he's wearing one of those tank shirts with the full muscular arms out, like looking capital M mask, capital B butch. And he just like smiles very pleasedly at everybody who is excited for ending off everything that has happened. And he goes, "How was everyone? You guys did a good job."
It's a start. I think we've still got a long way to go.
I'll say. But I'm looking
I
forward
punched a
to
god's
it.
hand.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I would be actually disappointed if you didn't, Dare.
Dare smiles.
Actually, Dare, do you have the actual hand? I'd like to mount it in the bar as just like a reminder. A cool little centerpiece.
Regina's gonna
She looks-
yank her hand against her chest, almost like clutching pearls.
Dare is still looking at it, like rubbing her chin. Maybe one day.
Perhaps instead of taking my hand to put on your bar, perhaps I could offer a bit of an olive branch. Although I think that you should lead it after I do it. And Regina's going to kind of reach out. And you guys have seen Dare talk to the nanites, talk to the unseen, those sorts of things. And she's going to do that. But what's going to happen is she's going to turn the stage into a reflection of the silicone kickstand, of the lower city. It's going to take the blackout and she's going to alter it into instead a large neon stage. And she's going to kind of do this after convening with the unseen. And then she's going to turn back and she's going to kind of look at you guys with a shrug and be like, "How's that for a start?"
Yay.
Well, you do know how much we love karaoke. And I think
Somebody once told me.
Papa Franklin grabs the guitars and the all of the extra musical instruments that he keeps around for all of the starving artists to play. And he goes, "Well, sing us out."
Somebody once told me the world was gonna.
All right. You guys did it. You took down the event. You started the change. Sometimes changes aren't killing people and punching them in the faces. Sometimes it's appealing to their heart and making them realize that there's a different point of view. Sometimes it also means punching them in the face, but that's a different game.
I tried really, really hard.
I know. You tried valiantly, and I promise you, I would have had to narrate a little bit differently if I hadn't hit double sixes. But you guys did amazing. I think that was great. We got our little cameo in there. Thank you, Rowan. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
You are free because I know you are. It's 10 o'clock your time and also still healing. So if you need to go, you're good. We're going to call the game kind of where we're at. But I'm glad you got to cameo because we were worried about that.
Yes, we were. Good to see everybody. Hello. And also goodbye. I'm going to go rest my legs still.
Bye, Rowan.
Get well soon, Rowan.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay. And with that, the only other thing we have to say goodbye to is our stream. But before we say goodbye to the stream, I would love in this moment, as we have, I'm sure, sort of a montage musical across the stage. Gearshaft is playing a keytar, different instruments going across. Tell me what everyone's doing as that final sort of camera pans out to this scene.
Oh, well, they're singing
Yes.
All-Star.
I love it.
I think Abigail is kind of talking with her mother. Initially, at least.
Mm-hmm. Maybe trying to convince her to like dance a little, have some fun. She's still very perturbed.
After finishing the art, I would probably, covered in cake now and paint, I'd probably run and hug Abigail and tackle her and be like, "You did it. I don't know what we did, but we did it."
Regina's gonna take like a step back and like, is this icing paint covered one yours?
I hope so. You've got a little frosting everywhere.
Okay. And what about Miri and Seer? What are we doing?
I'm not hearing Lakin.
Yeah, you might be
I think we
muted,
double
Lakin.
tapped again.
I'm so sorry. I'm
It's
so
okay.
sorry. I said, making out. Or I'd be trying to convince Seer to do a duet with me.
I think Seer would, but I think she'd also make a mention that she'd mention to you, like, you know, you made some music for me, and I actually had something as well, but it's I don't have it here, but maybe I could show you at my place sometime.
Yes, I would love to hear your music.
Oh, that would be delightful. And
There,
I
Chef.
kissed a goddess and I liked it. My goodness.
Okay.
Live here, over.
Yeah. I think that's the perfect. Go ahead.
After Dare's done singing, she turns to look at Gearshaft and goes, "Have you heard of polygamy?"
And on that perfect
And that's where we end
one-liner,
it.
the camera pans out, it fades to black. You guys have completed your adventure in all the best ways. Huzzah!
Yay!
Yay!
And with that, we're going to sign off from stream, and I'm sure I'll go cry a little bit. So we say bye, stream.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye, guys.